In today's Boruto Two Blue Vortex video, I show you why and how exactly Sarada will awaken the 6 paths, combining both Sun and Moon to become just like Naruto and Sasuke combined. It's no secret that Sarada is the third main character, female lead and daughter of the second main character in Naruto, has a pretty hard time catching up with Boruto and Kawaki. And I'm not talking about a hard time like Sakura had with Naruto and Sasuke, where there are 3 humans, 2 of whom are destined to become strong due to being very powerful reincarnations, and later even gifted literal Otsutsuki powers even if it came only from a 50% Otsutsuki. Still, this is a very powerful ability among normal shinobi, but Sarada is competing with 2 full-fledged Otsutsukis, one of whom mysteriously manifested the power of a god and the other has acquired the powers of an elite Otsutsuki, while on top of that his body is completely modified. Who knows what other secrets lay deep in his DNA just waiting to awaken. You see, it's a little bit different from the Sakura situation where she can just jump into the scene, act as if she finally caught up to her teammates, and we're all like, yeah, okay, we let that slide. What Sakura really meant is that she's able to survive somehow the fights that Naruto and Sasuke are able to win. So she's able to fight with them side by side, that's it. And here's the thing, Sarada is actually in big trouble if she even wants to at least get on the same level that Sakura reached compared to the level of Naruto and Sasuke. That is, if Sarada wants to quote-unquote survive while fighting alongside Boruto and Kawaki against an enemy like Shibai for example, then it's not enough to be remotely where Naruto and Sasuke are at their peak. I mean, just look how easily Kawaki could teleport Naruto away and the fight was over before it even started. But there's no way he could have done the same thing with Boruto now after the time skip. And the same goes for Sasuke as for Naruto. After all, he's the one who was caught by the 10-tailed beast, not Boruto. Of course, it's probably the case that he protected Boruto from one of those things, just like Simp-kun protected Sarada for example. But if you look at what Boruto did with those things, then you already know that he doesn't need any protection anymore. He could have saved Sasuke against 10 of those beasts at the same time. Easy. If you compare Sasuke to Sarada, then yes, Sarada would have become a tree herself if there wasn't Simp-kun. You see what I'm trying to say? Sarada is beyond behind. She's not even on the same scale. Boruto and Kawaki are on a whole other level. Obviously, Sarada didn't use her Mangekyou Sharingan and all that Uchiha stuff, yada yada yada. But even then, she's at best by nature on the level of a Hokage, who's maybe capable of competing on the front line against Madara. And even that is an extreme stretch because, first of all, Madara surpassed human abilities and certainly not in a natural way. To achieve what Madara achieved, you need a little evil in you and you have to be willing to make sacrifices. And Sarada is not ready to do that. After all, she wants to become Hokage, which is why Kishimoto was forced to give Sarada her Mangekyou in a very special way. And second, from what we have seen, Sarada is definitely not extraordinarily gifted. She's talented, alright, but she's not a god. And even with the capabilities she has, she probably doesn't have a master that could help her achieve her true potential. Based on the fact that Koji became the master of Boruto and it's very likely that Mitsuki trained with Orochimaru, it's not far-fetched to assume that she sought advice from Tsunade or her mother Sakura. There's nobody else, and who knows, maybe Orochimaru just like Sasuke. Clearly, she's not very fond of Konohamaru anymore, so it depends on the attitude of her mother and Tsunade, if not Orochimaru. The worst case scenario would have been that nobody else remembers Boruto leaving Sarada without a master. But it's actually possible that Sakura does remember if her DNA is for some reason implanted in Ada, explaining the pink hair because we have received a clear rule. There are no exceptions no matter who you are. You are only not affected if you are either an Otsutsuki, in which case it's not even enough to be the reincarnation of Indra, or if you are part of Ada's bloodline, that is, if you share her DNA, or if she shares your DNA. Why would we search for a third reason? It's either this or that. Simple. So if you wonder why Sakura's DNA would be in Ada, just watch this video after you finish this one here. So if Sakura is actually actually not affected, then she could certainly train Sarada. However, based on the forehead, that doesn't seem to be the case, and there's nothing Sakura could teach Sarada beyond what she learned herself. You see, it looks very bad for Sarada, especially because her role model Naruto is gone too. We may have to assume the worst case scenario. Sarada not only has no special powers outside the ordinary Uchiha capabilities, but also didn't have anyone teaching her to use her powers properly, especially the Sharingan. And yet she does look confident when she, for example, confronted Kawaki. She did make it seem as if she believes she can stop Kawaki from controlling Konoha when it comes to pushing the lie against Boruto. So if she's not just big talk, she should actually be able to have some pretty serious moves. And if that's the case, the question is, why didn't she show that against the tailed beasts? If not against them, then when? There are only a few reasons why she may have hidden her abilities. Either it's just very consuming, either time for preparation or chakra, or who knows, maybe even life force. Or maybe she's really keeping it a secret because at this moment, the reality is that everyone surrounding her is an enemy. Not in the literal sense, but in the same way as they see Boruto as their enemy. And in the same way as to how Boruto is forced to confront all his friends as enemies because that's how they confront him. He has no other choice, and so Sarada doesn't either. And it should be pretty obvious that you don't show your powers to enemies. That's one of the first rules a shinobi follows. If it comes down to the inevitable and Sarada is confronted with a situation in which she's forced to use her powers to protect Boruto, then it will come very handy if nobody actually knows what Sarada is capable of. Just think about it. If she's really training all by herself and is never confronted with a situation in which she really has to use her powers, simply because her mission targets aren't strong enough, then why will she ever randomly reveal her strength to anyone? If there's no opponent worth using it against, and if she's also training all by herself, literally a loner. So it looks like nobody actually knows what Sarada is capable of, with the exception of Ada, of course, because she's a creep and stalks the entire world. That's all she ever does. But Ada has already proven that she doesn't really side with Kawaki. At least not when it comes to telling him things other people don't want him to know. She has proven that by not revealing Boruto's whereabouts, for example, or what happened to Sasuke, she's just an observer. So that's one thing. But most importantly is the fact that Sarada sees Kawaki as a true enemy because he remembers. So she's particularly hiding her abilities from him, meaning she actually believes that when it comes down to her fighting him, she has a realistic chance of defeating him. This is why she didn't use anything against those tailed beasts. She knew she could handle everything without even using her Mangekyo, for example. Yes, she was almost caught, but maybe that's because she was extremely distracted by Boruto's presence. In any case, that's likely the reason why she seemed so basic. But even if we assume her full power to be anywhere close to Sasuke's, she would stand no chance against Kawaki. So either her Mangekyo ability is beyond powerful, or it's like a one-shot attack under certain conditions, which is why she keeps it a secret. But just by common sense, she's nowhere capable of fighting Shibai or anyone comparable, which is the power level we received from Kishimoto to expect the strength of the final villain. Heck, she probably couldn't even win against Kaguya, let's be honest. At the very least, she needs a Rinnegan. That's the absolute fundamental ability. That or an advanced Byakugan alongside her Sharingan, and even then, most Otsutsukis have also the Rinnegan in addition. Either in one of their eyes, on the forehead, their palms, wherever. We can try to bend reality as much as we won't get around the fact that Sarada needs a power-up that goes beyond anything she can achieve by herself. Even Madara had to do crazy things to be even close to what Kaguya is capable of. And as we have already established, Kaguya's level is far too weak for Boruto. I mean, she was afraid of Momoshiki, so what can I say? Sarada needs to receive the maximum amount of capabilities possible for a human. And if we have to push that limit, then it's only possible with the help of Hagoromo. Without making it too complicated, Hagoromo was able to keep his soul and chakra on Earth instead of going to what the Naruto world calls the Pure Land, where the souls of earthly beings reside after death. There are no indications that anything has changed in that regard. We still don't know the conditions of Hagoromo's existence, however, it's proven that he's in control of the chakra that originated from him, because of Ninshu. For example, he was able to reincarnate his children with it. As mentioned, this ability likely comes from Ninshu, through which he connected himself to the world with a chakra that came from him. It's like his chakra has a thin connection to his soul. As long as chakra exists on Earth, he will be around. With that, he connected with almost all the shinobi in the world, but especially those who are directly descended from him. The earlier the family tree, the stronger the connection likely is. Unlike other series where usually the next generation always surpasses the old, in Naruto, Kaguya created a unique situation. Shinobi actually become weaker because the chakra from the chakra fruit that Kaguya consumed was forced onto her children, divided by 2, and so on. Which is likely one of the reasons Hagoromo was forced to reincarnate Indra and Ashura. People with chakra procreated with people without chakra, resulting in weaker children over time. Eventually, chakra became so established that almost everyone had it. Now it seems to be pretty regulated, so that if 2 people with chakra have a child, the child does not lose any chakra anymore compared to their parents. This makes it even more difficult for Sarada to reach Otsutsuki level. However, she's the daughter of Sasuke and therefore the spiritual daughter of Indra. This places her only 2 generations away from Hagoromo spiritually. Theoretically, this could allow Hagoromo to work with Sarada similarly to how he did with Sasuke and Naruto. Hagoromo used the chakra inside Sasuke to communicate with him. If part of that chakra is now also inside Sarada and it's enough to establish that connection through Ninshu, then this would put Sarada at the top of the family tree, even above Madara, at least without considering his reincarnated form. And here's the thing, the only reason why Hagoromo divided his powers between Sasuke and Naruto is that he wanted them to resolve the conflict they had long ago, and also because of Kaguya and all that. Theoretically, he could have given both Naruto and Sasuke the same powers, just like he could have with Indra and Ashura, but he believed in peace and equality. That plot is finished. So, if Hagoromo's soul still exists in the human realm, which is very likely because of Ninshu, and the fact that his chakra is all over the place, almost in every single human who has chakra, and if he still has the capability to awaken both powers in those who are connected through chakra with him, then theoretically he could do the same thing with Sarada and also with Himawari, for example. But since Demon has already hinted that there's something special about Himawari, I believe she will naturally awaken a different power. So there won't be any need for her to receive the moon or the sun. And besides, if she were to inherit anything, it will probably be something from Hamura. And although Boruto should also be connected to Hagoromo, there's simply nothing he can give Boruto. That Boruto couldn't awaken by himself, and far more than that. And in any case, Sarada really needs both powers. So here's my take. The only way Sarada can become relevant is if Hagoromo awakens the 6 paths inside her. But not like with Sasuke, but rather like with Naruto and Sasuke together, the sun and the moon. So all those things like truth-seeking ball, Rinnegan, and to be honest also everything Madara and Obito could do. There's just no way she's able to survive against someone like Shibai without those powers, period. She needs the full arsenal of what is possible as an Uchiha and shinobi in general, touching the limit of an Otsutsuki. And who knows, maybe there's even another prophecy that Hagoromo hasn't revealed yet. Maybe he's just waiting for Sarada to reach a certain level. But to be honest, even then I still struggle to believe that this would be enough to compete with Boruto despite her legacy as Sasuke's child. So what do you think of this Boruto video? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like, and if you want to see more Boruto content, soon the new Boruto chapter review, then subscribe to this channel with the notification bell activated for more videos. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.